Hello and welcome everybody to Quality Sewing and Vacuums Tuesday. How do I? I am Andrea, and today we are going to learn how to hem some jeans and keep the original hem on your jeans. I heard about this at stores that you could go into fancy stores and get your jeans hemmed, and it would be the original hem. And I thought, oh, how did they do this? And I finally watched a tutorial and figured it out. And today I'm going to show you two different kinds. I stole these from my friend's kiddos because they needed some jeans hemmed. So this one just needs a tiny bit of a hem right here. And this guy needs like 4 inches taken off of his pants today. So we're going to do these two different jeans today. First, let's come over to this first pair of the lighter pair right here. We're going to move over to our other camera so I can show you a little more detail. Now, what you want to do is you want to make sure that I've got these 3 colors of blue thread. And you want to make sure that your thread matches your jeans. So this one is too dark, this one is too bright, and this one matches just right, because this is what the stitch is going to be on the top. So you want this color to be invisible. Okay, so what I did is I had my model try her on her 2 long jeans, and then this is the hem, and she tried it on, and I folded it up, folded the edge up to what I thought she may need, and then I put some pins in it, like you can see here, and I pulled it up about 1/2 inch. Here's my little seam gauge here. And I measured here the whole hem, the original hem is 1/2 inch right here. Can you see that? So I wanted to make sure that when I folded up this hem, it was about 1/2 inch longer, or shorter, I should say, shorter than what I actually wanted it. So when I pinned it up a little bit like this, I flipped that hem back out and made sure that she was happy with that length right there. Okay, when I knew she was happy with it, I pinned it all the way around. So the fabric here that I needed to pin up turned out to be 3/8 of an inch, like this. So we're going to take just a second and finish pinning this guy all the way around. And then I'll go back and double check to make sure those spots are 3/8 all the way around. Here, I'm going to grab that again. This is one of my favorite tools, a little seam guide. I have used my seam guides for so many things besides just clothing measurements, hems and such. They are just such a handy little tool to have right there by your sewing machine when you just need a little measurement. Okay, I'm gonna grab this and check it, and check it, check it, check it. Ooh, that one's maybe a little bit long, but sometimes when you go over this big thick part right here, it gets a little tricky. So you try your best. Right, like that. This one seems to be a little thick as well. Gonna adjust that just a little bit. Like that. Check it. We're good to go. Okay, now that I have all of this pinned down all the way around the edge, we're going to head on over to the sewing machine right here. Come with me. I'm going to move my pins right here so I can catch them. Okay, so I have here, I'm using the performance icon, and I have it set up in just the first settings for, there's the first stitch and the second stitch. As far as like most machines, it's pretty much always the second stitch. It is a double stitch where it stitches 2 forward and then 1 back, and 2 forward and then 1 back, 2 forward and 1 back. So it's a really sturdy stitch that is going to hold hems, like in your jeans, really well. Okay, so I've got my matchy thread. I'm gonna thread it up in my machine here. Look at how easy it is to thread these machines. Love them. My favorite part of this is this right here, where it automatically threads it for me. Now I also have matching bobbin thread in the bottom here because you'll want to make sure that it matches. I'm gonna get my petal situated, and then I'm just going to put my hand right underneath this edge and take off the little deck part here, and I'm going to set that aside because then it's the little free arm right here, and my jeans are going to slip right in there. Now I always like to start with the inner seam, just because, you know, you have to start and stop and do the knot and everything. So I want all that right in the middle. So I'm going to get it underneath here, underneath those feed dogs there. And I'm going to put my foot down. I'm going to put my needle in there. And we are going to, last night when I pinned her pants, I pinned those the wrong way. We're gonna flip these. Oh, that one disappeared under there. I am gonna put one more needle in here. Right there. Okay, and off we go. So what I am doing right here, I wanted to also let you know that I have the tie off at the end. I want to tie off at the beginning, tie off at the end, and then thread cut. Those are my second favorite features of having a newer machine, where I program it to start, stop with a stitch. Okay, I should tell you that I am stitching right in the ditch, right next to that seam right here. And I'm going to go all the way around. Let's go. Started with, I think it may be stuck. There we go. Actually, for the sake of time, I'm just going to put it on a regular old stitch and just let it go. And it's at 2.5. I'm going to keep it there because the smaller the stitch, the more sturdy it's going to be. And when we move to the top stitch, we're going to lengthen the stitch. So for the sake of time, we're just going to do a regular old stitch for now. Okay. All right. Starting with a stitch. All right. We're going to go a lot faster now. And take that out so I don't run it over. Now when I put my needles in, they are going to point, they point at the foot here. If I can get this, this guy is sneaking into there. Come on. There it goes. Getting stuck. Okay, this guy I did last night, you can tell because he's facing the wrong way. I have to take him out early. But look at how fabulous that just went over that big lump. I think we went over like 6 layers of fabric right there, just at that moment. Okay. Keep going, keep going. Guy's also down in there. Okay, look at this big lump compared to 2 layers and like 6 layers of jeans. Watch it go. This is amazing. Oh, like it was nothing. Okay, so I'm going to tell it, yes, I am done. And it's knotting it. And that noise is cutting it. That's so great. Okay, I'm going to take my little snippy scissors here. I'm going to trim, always trim off your tails, that side and that side. All right, so we've got that. And now we're going to flip it over to the top, just like this. And then we're going to also, I'm just finger pressing it like this. I'm not going to start on that lump because that always, I've had problems with knotting it. It doesn't like to knot. Any machine doesn't like to knot and start and stop on a big wad of fabric. So I'm putting it just behind. And because I'm starting in the inner leg here, any kind of knot is going to be on the inside and you won't see it. Okay, we're gonna put that foot down. Oh, before we go any further, I'm gonna leave that up. I love the FOF. Did you see what how it automatically went up like that? It put the foot down and then it lifted up the needle. All I did at that moment is I tapped the foot pedal. I love that I have control over a lot of the functions of the FOF machine just by touching the pedal. I can tell it I'm ready to go, and I do it once and the needle goes down and the foot goes up. Let's say I touch it one more time, the foot goes down. I touch it one more time, the needle goes up. Isn't that amazing? I didn't do anything with my hands. It was all the foot pedal down below. This is one of the reasons I love the FOF. Okay, now we'll go on. I am going to come over here and increase my stitch length to a 4. That'll be really nice because all of these stitches right here are nice and big too. Okay. I'm going to tell it, yes, I want to start. It already did its needle. Now I am sewing like I think it's 1/8 of an inch away from the needle. Like there's this little tiny red line right beside the needle, and that's what I'm using to go right along that folded edge right there that we already did. Okay. And I'm feeling it with my hand underneath. I'm really opening that seam, making sure it's really flat as we stitch right over the top here. This is turning out great. Here we go. This is like uber duper really fat fabrics right here. And look at that. Not a skip, not anything. And it just keeps going. Isn't that amazing? The stitches are perfect. Everything is perfect. Still going. We're almost done. And watch, I'm separating the fabric as I go. I'm feeling it underneath. Half of your sewing is not even using your eyes. It's just doing it by what you feel. Okay, I'm untwisting her pants. Her pants are way twisted here. All right. Our last ginormous big lump here, and it takes it like nothing. Look at that. So amazing. Okay, and we've reached the other side where we already started. I'm going to press this little button. It tells it I'm all done. And we'll go over to this other camera here so you can see it a little more in detail. I'm going to trim off these little tails we've got here. Where's the other tails? Here they are. And just like that, you can iron these, but when you look at them far away, you're not going to see that line. I can see it, but when you wear them from far away, Let me hold these up a little bit for you. You can't see that it was hemmed on the very top, and you keep that original hem right there. Isn't that cool? Okay, we're gonna set these jeans aside, and let's go over and do these little guys' jeans. I am actually not going to cut them because he has the waist, like, look at how much it's already gathered in. So he has some room to grow. And I asked his mom, I'm like, do you want me to just leave all this? And she said, yeah, we probably should. So we can take out what the hem that I'm going to do, and she'll in the future, she'll be able to undo this and then do the hem shorter or longer, I guess, as he needs it. So for right now, it looks like he needs, like 3 inches, a whole 3 inches he needs off of his pants. Okay, so we're just gonna do the one. I'm gonna check this side for 3 inches. Woohoo, look at that. We are good to go. I'm going to put a pin there. Make sure that is good. These, with the ones that we just did, it was such a tiny hem that we took up. I'm not going to worry about the flap because we top stitched it. It's going to stay up like that. But this is a lot of hem, so I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with all this extra hem. Okay. I'm going to check this side. I'm going to bring these over here. Put a pin in here. And a pin in this side. Making sure they're going the right way. One more pin in there. All right. And when you look at your threads, I'm going to use this darker thread because it's going to look like a shadow and you're not going to see it. That's the whole key, is finding threads that just blend into the pants and you can't see them. Okay, I've got my matchy bobbin. Let's go. We're going to move over here really quickly. I'm going to show you how easy. There's that little button. I just pulled back on it. It pops up the lid. I'm going to set that guy aside. And you always want when you're using a FOF, you want it going counterclockwise. So the tail you always grab it with the right hand before you drop it in, just like that. I'm going to put it around all those little thread catchies. And take that off. I'm going to take off that thread. I just love how easy this sewing machine is to thread as well. Check that out. Woohoo. Let's see if it likes this thread. It likes the thread. Yay. The first thing of thread I tried to thread, it didn't like it. So it likes it now. All right, here we go with these little pants. I'm going to find the inside seam, which is right here. We're going to put that right on there. I'm going to move it past that spot. Ooh, that's so thick. Ugh, there we go. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to make it small. We're going to make it small. There we go. Okay, I'm stitching in the ditch right here. I don't know if you can see this, but there's a big crease right there. You want to make sure that there isn't a crease in there. There's no wrinkles. And if there is, you know where you want the wrinkle to be? You want it to be on that inside seam. So I'm going to move, if there's any extra, sometimes your jeans will taper and go smaller. You want to take in, if there's any kind of, if it's bigger as you go up and you have to make like a little bit of a pleat, you want to make sure that that goes on the inside of your leg seam. So that's why it's also a good reason to start in the inside seam, because you'll catch it at the very end. You'll find that little tiny extra fabric. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, I'm going to take this out. See, we've got this little extra fabric right there. I'm going to take out that needle so I can ease that extra fabric going around. This little guy was like walking right there on that part of his jeans. He's going to walk right out of his jeans. All right. Luckily, a lot of our new jeans have a lot of stretch in them, so there is a little excess here. So I'm going to hold those two. I was actually kind of pulling those two taut like this so we don't have to have a lump or a crease, because the jean fabric is stretchy. So I'm going to grab a little bit here and a little in the back. And I'm just going to pull it just ever so slightly so it's nice and flat. Look, it's going over those seams like a dream. I'm going to tell it that I want it to knot and cut. Okay. We're going to trim these guys. 1 and 2. We are going to fold these up there. Woohoo! And unfold the pants. Okay. Still our inside seam right here. Actually, I'm going to put it right there. There we go. I'm going to make our stitch a little bit longer because it's going on top. Doing our top stitch. Okay, we're coming to our big lump. I'm going to slow down just a wee bit. Go over that really big lump. Here we go. Here it's really thick right here. And if you can see this, the little foot thing is getting stuck underneath the edge of here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift that just a wee bit and kind of scooch that under. There. Now my foot is over that little ledge that I wanted to just go right into. Oh, and that was a little thick. Oh. And I broke my needle! Woohoo! What do you do in this case? You have to do a new needle. And as I was thinking about it, Reva just did a show, and I was thinking, I wonder what kind of needle is in there. And you know what? I bet it's not a jeans needle. As I was sewing that, I was thinking, I should tell our viewers that they need to use a jeans needle so they don't break their needle when they go over a really thick part right there. Okay, so in this case, you would have to replace your needle. And had it been a jeans needle, it would have gone through that really well. But it went through all those other layers. I don't even know what needle that is. But it went through all those layers so well already for not being a jeans needle. I'm awfully sure it wasn't. Okay, so I'm going to cut it right here. Oh, there it goes. All right. I'm going to lift it all the way up and lift it out. Okay. And I don't think I have any extra needles handy on me. So what I'm going to show you is what to do with this really large part right here. You know how to finish that edge. You just come back here, do your little knot. Then you will turn your pants right side out like this. And then you will get it right up underneath here as much as you can. I'm trying to get my hand out of the way so you can see this, but it's hard to hold it right here. Hold the fabric out of the way. And can you see, I'm gonna grab this. Is a fabric in the way? Can you see it? Sorta? Okay. Maybe there. Okay, so you see this yellow line right here? If you stitch right beside it, right there, you're going to, like if I had a real working needle in there that was jeans, you would stitch right here, stitch in the ditch, right there with your matching thread. That's why you want your bobbin thread, which is going to show on that part, and your thread up top to be the matchy color that will go right into there. So when you turn it around, you'll have stitched in the ditch right here, right along that edge, and then you don't have to worry about that big flap coming down right there. All right, we're going to come back here and finish it up. If I can get these little pants undone right here. Okay, we have a question. Top stitch on the old hem or the folded edge? Good question. So what I did, let's see if we can zoom it closer here. We'll get a cleaner side of the pants. And I will get this little stiletto here. Okay, so what I did, the folded edge is right here. And my stitch is right above it right here. I almost should have done it in like white thread. So I'm going to use this little guy for a second. Folded edge is right here. And the stitch is actually right above it, right there. And if you use that matching thread, you can't even see it. So I'm going to hold these up right like this, and you have a cool, nice hem where this little boy is not going to walk off the whole back part of his pants. Okay, so there's the young man's pair of pants, and here's the young lady's pair of pants right here, where you have the stitch in the matchy color. You get my tool here. The hem is right here, or not, the original hem is here, the folded edge is here, and the stitching is right here, right above that, right there. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today here at Quality Sewing and Vacuum. I hope you learned a new trick and tool that you'll be able to use so you don't wear out the very edges of your pants anymore when you need it just a little bit shorter, but you want to keep your beautiful hem and do it really fast too. And don't forget, when you start sewing this, to use a jeans needle or a leather needle, just something that has a little more power in it, like I showed you when we broke our needle on that really thick seam. I hope you have a great Tuesday. Can't wait to see you next week with our How Do I next week. Have a great day.